Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be filming a fall inspired makeup look for you. I'm going to be using the Morphe 350 palette as well as the new Fenty Beauty Foundations. I'm going to be giving you guys my honest opinion on them and whether or not I think they're worth the hype and the money. Other than that, make sure you look down in the description box for any discount codes, my Instagram, and give this video a huge like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys next time. Okay, so I am starting off by priming my lids with my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in the shade Light Sand, and then I am blending that all out with my wet beauty blender. After that, I'm going to go ahead and set my face with just a Morphe small powder brush and my Bobbi Brown Skin Weightless powder foundation. And now I'm going in with a Sigma E25, and I'm using my Morphe palette. If you look in the bottom left corner, it'll show you what eyeshadows I'm using at the time. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up this light brown shade and work it in my crease as a transition color, and I'm just going back and forth using windshield wiper motions and then some small circular motions to help diffuse the edges even more. Then I'm going to go ahead and pick up a slightly darker brown shade, and I'm working that in the lower part of my crease and a little bit on my outer corner to go ahead and start adding some dimension to my eye. Now I'm picking up an olive green shade, and this is on an e.l.f. blending brush, but I did not like the way it was picking up the pigment of the shadow, so I switched back to another Sigma E25, and I went ahead and worked that in the crease a little bit and mainly on the outer corner of my eye, and just worked that back and forth, making sure everything was blended. Next, I went ahead and picked up two darker brown eyeshadows, and this is on the same Inspire brush that I used in my last video. It is a 282. This is my favorite brush to do the outer corner of my eye with, just because it's so small and dense. It's very easy to pack on a lot of color and not work it up too high to where it looks like you have a black eye, and it helps blend the shadows out very easily. So I just went back and forth between the two shadows, really building up the dimension on my eye, and then I picked up a clean Sigma E25 and went back and forth making sure everything was blended. And then I picked up a Morphe eyeshadow brush. It was just a flat eyeshadow brush, and picked up the same olive green color that I had been using earlier and went ahead and just put that all over my lid. I picked up another clean Morphe E25 brush once again and made sure everything was blended out correctly, and really made sure the edges were all diffused. So to start the face, I am just priming with my Becca Backlight priming filter. This is one of my favorite primers of all time that doesn't make me look greasy while still making me look like I have a, I don't want to say iridescent, but look like I have a glow to my skin. I also picked up some Coconut Skin Smoothie Priming Moisturizer from HelloFab, just because as it gets cold outside, my skin will start to get dry. So I'm trying to avoid that at all possible costs. So I'm just rubbing the two of those into my skin with my fingers, waiting for them to get a little bit tacky before I jump into my foundation. So after that's all in my skin, I pick up a Fenty Beauty Foundation that I picked up a few different samples of. The one I'm using today is the 160 Warm Peach. I picked up a few because I heard they oxidized slightly, which I do say it did oxidize, but it was a little bit light for my skin when I first applied it, even though it doesn't look like it is on camera. And so by the time it oxidized, it didn't look too bad on my skin, especially with the highlight that I end up using. So I just blended it all out with a damp beauty sponge. I didn't have any trouble building it up or blending it out like I had seen some people on YouTube said they had. The foundation did feel like it set itself, like it felt like it was set with powder as soon as I had blended it out, which I thought was really nice because it didn't crease in a lot of spots that I normally crease in immediately. So after I finished applying that foundation, I used my Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Light Sand, and I applied that in all of the normal areas. And despite the fact that the foundation felt like it had been set like powder, the concealer still blended out normally how it would with any other foundation that I've ever used. It blended out really nicely, and it ended up setting really nicely as well. It is about 6:45, I believe, right now. And I still don't have any creases on my face. I usually crease in my dimples on my forehead like 10 minutes after I put my foundation on. So, and I still look matte. I haven't really done much today, but for the most part, everything has held up very nicely. So I'm just blending that back and forth. I spend a lot of time on my under eyes because I do crease pretty badly in my under eyes, just going back and forth, working the concealer back and forth so it doesn't sit in any fine lines. And then I always go in as soon as I'm done blending it out with a translucent powder. Today I picked up the RCMA powder because I said in my last video I am out of my Laura Mercier, and this one is a great dupe. And so I picked that up and set my face under my eyes, my chin, and my forehead with that, as well as my dimples. And then I go ahead and brush it all away with my IT Cosmetics powder brush. And I did not set the rest of my face today because my skin already felt dry. So then on a Morphe powder brush, I picked up a Makeup Forever Pro Bronze Fusion Bronzer. It does not have the shade on it, but I will find it and link it down below for you. This bronzer used to be one of my favorites in the summer. It is very warm toned and very creamy, so it is nice. Oh my god, there's my kitty. And so after I did that, I just went and dusted that on my forehead, and then I went back in with the Too Faced Dark Chocolate Soleil bronzer because I felt like it wasn't giving me the color I wanted originally. And then I picked up on a Morphe blush brush, the shade Flowerchild by Becca. This is probably my favorite higher end blush ever. It's a very pretty color. And then on a large fan brush by Morphe as well, I picked up my Cargo HD highlight in the shade Bronze. I received this in an Ipsy bag a few months ago and fell in love with it and have just recently found it. And then I also added on a little bit of Mary Luminizer by the Balm on the apples of my cheeks. I used a Sigma E20 in the copper shade from the Subculture palette to smoke out my lower lash line. I absolutely love this color. I need to find a dupe for it by like Makeup Geek or something, so I will keep you updated on that. After I did that, I did my brows off camera, and then I highlighted with the lightest shade in the 350 palette. I forgot to put a picture, and then I just set my whole face with the Ready Set Radiant. I didn't put on any lashes today, so I just used my L'Oreal Carbon Black mascara after I stopped filming. And then I have a little dance party, and that is the finished look. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Give this video a like and subscribe to my channel to keep updated with what I'm doing. Thank you guys so much for watching.